As somebody watching someone that I love, it's tough to be like, man, she looks so happy spending all her time
Yeah.
with this other
somebody else,
person,
yeah.
creating these beautiful things that are then broadcasted to the world, and the world is responding,
Yeah.
you know, and they respond, and actually, and then we talked about the toxicity in that response,
Yeah.
amongst all other beautiful responses, you know, some of that, and those voices are the loudest. And now I'm exposed to those voices too. And it's like, it takes a lot of discipline and a
Yeah.
lot of trust to be okay with all of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Wednesday, or whatever day it is that you're listening to this, and welcome to the squeeze. The squeeze. Hey.
I'm Tay.
And I am Boy Tay, and we are very grateful to have you here with us today.
Yes, sir, we are. We very much are.
We have a very awesome episode coming up that we'll tell you about momentarily. But before that, just wanted to check in with everyone.
I didn't think a hat would work with the headphones, but it actually does work.
Is it working?
Yeah, it also doesn't look as weird as I thought it'd look.
When I told her, I was like, you okay if I wear a hat? You know, this episode, just not, just having a bad hair day. She looked at me like I was talking to a ghost. She's like, are you going to wear headphones? I was like, yeah. She's like, okay. But yeah.
It works.
I can only see me from far away at the moment, but I feel like it's all right.
Yeah, it seems to be working.
How are we doing today, people?
Yeah. On a scale from 1 to 10.
Well, check in with yourself.
What are you at, hon?
I'm better now than I was this morning.
Okay, that's too bright this moment.
This moment, I'm an 8.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Had a bit of a stressful morning. Honestly, woke up great.
Yeah.
Probably woke up at an 8, 9.
You were really happy when you woke up.
But then, a couple stressful life things happen. And definitely went down to a 3 or 4 for a moment.
Well,
but I'm back up.
You handled it greatly, and now we're here. Yeah, I'd say I'm like a 7.
Okay.
I'm probably right around there with you.
Well, I'm going to do my best to get you up to at least a 9.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, I got a little something planned.
Oh, no, you don't.
No, you're right, I don't.
It's like, I know what we're doing the rest of the day. You don't have anything planned.
I was going to figure it out.
Oh, okay, maybe you still can.
Okay.
Oh, you know what will help me get up there?
Huh.
I think you could guess.
What? Cleaning the counters or something weird?
Yeah.
What?
No, you already cleaned the island this morning. No, it would just be help taking the trash out.
The trash?
Yeah. Actually,
I always do the trash.
I need to open our Amazon boxes. Yeah, I know you do. It just needs to be done.
Okay. I'll take the trash out, and
great.
If that gets you up to a 9, great.
So, is there anything I could do for you to get you to a 9? I don't know why I'm laughing.
We can stop talking about trash and cleaning counters and start talking about this episode that we have.
Just before we get into the episode,
okay.
If you're watching this, be sure to go down. Just follow your eyes down to the bottom of our screen. There's a little subscribe button. Just go ahead and press that. Maybe give the little thumbs up button while you're down there.
That would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah. And if you're listening, you can go ahead and just follow us, follow along. And give us a little rating, too. Those are always fun.
Ratings, comments, all the love.
All the love.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to jump into the episode, babe?
We have with us today Dancing with the Stars legends, Val and Jenna.
Yes, we do. The cutest little couple.
They are very adorable. Their relationship together is so funny, and
it's fun.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Yeah.
They're so different in ways. They're probably, I don't know them super well, but based off a conversation with them, I'm sure they're similar in many ways too.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we had so much fun with them, and we talked about a lot of stuff. Like, we kind of sidebarred a lot of the conversation because we were just having like a great time talking with them. But I feel like we really covered a lot from, their careers as dancers, like them being together before they were together, pregnancy. They've had
struggles with
some struggles with pregnancy. Their little boy that they now have.
Yeah. Rome. Yeah.
Little Rome. He's so cute.
But yeah, I mean, they had some speed bumps, and they're very brave to share their story.
They gave some really good just relationship advice. Like, you can tell that like the two of them, like, they love each other so much, and they just gave very good advice on the adjustment of going just the two of them to now the three of them. Which I feel like was very helpful for us to hear too, because like we love each other a lot and we spend a lot of time together, and like them, they love each other a lot and spend a lot of time together. So they almost kind of like mourned the two of them going to three, even though it was such a fun thing, but it's still an adjustment.
Yeah.
But they were just like very honest and open and just very down to earth and practical. And yeah, we loved our conversation with them.
Yeah. Well, should we dive into the episode?
We shall.
Okay. Enjoy, everyone. We'll see you on the other side. Val and Jenna. Val? Jenna?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us. We are excited to have you guys. We appreciate you coming.
Thanks for
Of
having
course.
us.
Yeah.
So we start each episode off with this little jar, a little game we call Citrus Got Real. So if one of you would like to pull a little piece of paper out of there.
Or each of you can pull one.
Or
however
You can
however
pull one
wish.
from me, please.
Okay, I'll
there
get
we go.
two.
Perfect.
This is my ASMR drum roll. My hip just cracked so hard.
Thanks.
Okay.
These are very intense questions.
So
as you'll
intense.
see.
Ooh. Do you think the sea is salty because the shore never waves back at it? Oh.
What? Who wrote this one?
I love this. Definitely. Super salty, especially in California.
What?
If you were a candy bar, which candy bar would you be?
Oh, I'm actually really curious.
I would be a Twix, so I could give you half of me.
Oh!
I'm like gagging and so loving that.
How did you come up with that so quick?
Quick. Or a Bueno bar.
I mean it.
Thanks. Twix. Oh.
I don't. Wow.
See, I was going to say Twix, but not for that reason, just because I like Twix.
Just 'cause you like 'em?
Yeah.
This is really deep.
Oh my goodness.
Do you know what you would be?
I don't know, but I don't want to answer after that.
I feel like you would be like, I don't know why. I think Nerds Rope came to mind, but that's because you did that commercial for them when you were a kid.
Thank you.
Okay.
I don't know why I thought
Work.
candy, and then I thought it's this really cute photo of him like holding the Nerd's rope in his mouth. It's like it's like an 8-year-old.
It was like one of my, before I ever even booked like an on-camera thing, it was like a print ad. And I got this Nerds Rope ad. And they had like a rope hanging from the ceiling that I swung from, and they turned it into a Nerds Rope. And I'm like,
Where are those
swinging.
photos?
I don't know. I'll find them.
Yeah, I want to see those.
Yeah.
Internet, do your
Yeah.
Do your thing.
Do your thing and find it for us.
Okay, so I danced my whole life growing up, kind of went to college for it, and then did nursing. But you guys live out my dream. Love you, babe. But what is it like dancing together? Because I just think that is like the coolest thing. Have you ever been to the show, first of all?
No.
You have to come this season.
Great.
It's
Sign
the
me up.
best. Okay, back to the question. It's amazing. And honestly, truly, one of the reasons why I think we fell in love. There's just something so sensual, so like touching, like physical. Did you do partner dancing at all?
No.
It's next level. It really is. Because I also grew up doing like ballet, jazz, hip hop, all of this stuff. But there's something so intimate about ballroom, and then being able to do it with somebody that like you love. And I think we have very similar styles of dancing.
Yeah.
It's magic. Yeah, I don't know. It's so
magic.
corny to say it like that, but I do prefer him as a partner to anybody else. There's just like a certain touch, feel, sensation. It's just, it's
But also
great.
because I'm a great partner, not because she we're attracted to each other.
Well, that goes without saying, obviously.
I'm great at my craft.
She's the
Heck yeah.
other half to your Twix bar.
Yeah.
I really am.
So after hearing that, do you want to take a ballroom class with me, or
Come on.
I can't even get him on the dance floor like at a wedding, and that's like
What?
probably like our biggest.
We're going to do quick 101 salsa after this. Like side together.
I need
side
something. It's
That's
rough.
it. Or just even a dip. A dip gets them every time.
Yeah.
You could flip me. You can do like a little
Oh.
thing,
Or I could just flip myself.
or you could flip yourself. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, but I want you guys met on the show.
Yeah, we met on the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were one of you there
Just to answer-
before?
Yes.
I was,
You
yeah.
were there
tell
before.
this. You tell your story and then I'll tell mine.
Ooh.
No, you go ahead. Your story is better.
Okay. So, Val, how many seasons were you on before me? It was
Like 5.
okay, 5. There's an age gap. He's a little older. So yeah, he was on 5 seasons before me. I had just finished So You Think You Can Dance. I had gone on tour with them and I got asked to do Dancing with the Stars. I was like fresh 19-year-old.
Oh, wow.
Moved out to LA for Dancing with the Stars. And it's like my first day of rehearsal. I walk in, I'm the only new person that season. Everybody already knew each other. There's like great energy with
Yeah.
everyone. And I'm like shaking. And we randomly got partnered together in the routine that we were learning. And this guy, just like New York accent, he was like trying to flirt with me the whole time.
I was trying to flirt with you the whole time.
Yes. And I'm like,
what is
just be,
what is
be
trying to
professional.
flirt?
I don't want to get fired my first day.
I was
Well,
kind and chivalrous and understood that she was probably intimidated, and I was
Yeah.
trying to make the environment as
Yeah, it wasn't a rude flirt. It was just like you were flirting.
okay. I just want
And
to
I was
clarify.
like trying not to be distracted.
He's like, I was just being nice.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I just want to differentiate flirting, my definition of flirting, and just
So
kindness.
you telling me how good your sweat smelt was
Did I
being
say
just
that?
kind? Yes. He was like, my sweat. I was like, oh my gosh, who is this guy? Anyway, funny enough, in that same rehearsal, his brother was also a pro, Max. And for those of you that don't know Max, he is a character and the best ever, but he's a full character.
My older brother is also on Dancing with the Star. Was for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
So he was in the rehearsal. I randomly had to spin, get partnered with Max. And Max looks at me and he goes, who are you? And I was like, I'm Jenna. And he was like, no, like, who are you standing in for? And I was like,
Oh, well.
so I'm actually part of the show now.
I'm
and I like
here.
stood up to him and he's like very scary if you don't know him at first. Anyway, so that's kind of how it started. And then it just was a whirlwind from there.
That's the story.
What did I miss?
She came into this barbaric environment.
It wasn't barbaric. It was
one guy was
intimidating.
like, smell my sweat. The other one was like, what are you doing here?
And now you're my family.
Yeah, no, we had physical chemistry. I liked her energy and spirit, and then throughout the season, we kind of entertained that attraction, but
He was a bachelor and I was 19.
yeah, but also I was just not, I was so focused on making it in my work.
Yeah.
I wasn't really trying to, I wasn't trying to find love. I was
Right.
trying to find success.
Right.
And
I wasn't either. I was also trying to make it.
but in
The dance world.
yeah, and we
But it's just
again
like we kept
collaborated
coming-
on the work.
Yeah,
and I think in the foundation, which we had to redefine our relationship as it grew, and
Yeah.
obviously we've come a long way.
Yeah.
But some of the pillars in the beginning were work related. Our and again, when I say work related, our passion is our work. So
Yeah.
a lot of it, came from respect. Like I admired her as an artist and as a
And same.
professional, and she helped me out a lot. Those first few years, she assisted me on a lot of choreography, a lot of ideas, and my gratitude grew with that as well. And yeah, we kind of made a great team again with work related stuff, and then out of off of work, we also we weren't sick of each other. We still wanted to hang out. We still wanted to kind of discover ourselves. So,
Yeah.
That was a cute way of saying it.
yeah.
We weren't sick of each other.
We weren't sick of each other.
But again, I do have to say, eventually we had to, make agreements, make arrangements, speak
Yeah.
to each other, because, I also didn't sign up to be a duo when it comes to my work, right? My work is, I'm, one of the times we spoke is like, I've had a relationship with my craft way before, I've met anybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I want to not preserve it, but I just want to at least respect it, and I want us to, of course, work together because you're awesome and you make me better.
Yeah.
But I don't want that to be a given, and
that it's always the two of us.
that is just, okay, we're together now. And,
Yeah,
and
well,
that's
we
the
met as
expectation.
individuals and individually great at our craft. And so having to kind of figure out working together, dancing together, creating together, but then also
supporting each other, of
being
course.
in a you have to just find boundaries.
Of course, yeah.
Did you guys think that you would end up with a dancer? Like, were you like never, was it even a thought or?
I always said no.
She
And then
was
I
like,
always ended up dating
but
dancers.
a hip hop dancer.
Stop. Did have a few of those boyfriends. I think it goes back to just sharing that passion with somebody.
Yeah.
And I'm attracted to, I think, passion and I don't know, like athleticism in a sense too. So I don't know.
Aesthetic.
Good
Yeah.
smelling sweat.
Sweat,
Good
like
sweat.
smells really good.
Yeah. I had to ask, does it actually smell good?
It does. Well, like back in the day, he was doing Creed, but it was like 17 squirts of Creed. And so he would walk anywhere a mile away. And it was just like, Val was here.
Right.
Val was here. Creed, Creed, Creed.
The description of like the douchiest guy ever.
Stop. Creed is really good smelling.
Like saturates himself in cologne.
No, but it would.
walks
But you
in.
know that like your sense of smell leaves an impact of
Yes,
memories or
yes.
emotions,
Pheromones,
feelings for
yeah.
sure. So I would dream about Creed.
Oh,
So
Okay.
maybe we need to bring the Creed back.
Yes.
Maybe
I
you need
know.
to start wearing that.
I'm Googling.
Try it out. Aventus Creed. Okay.
I do want to know too. Is there like, I don't know if there isn't any because it's just like normal on what you guys do. Is there like I don't know what the word I'm trying to say is. Not butt heads, but is it?
Yes.
Is
You
it
can
weird?
say butt heads.
Do you butt heads like?
I'm a butt
You
head for
dancing
sure.
with the male and you dancing with the female. Does that ever
Oh.
like, because obviously like Taylor like does these things and like does these things will do TV shows or movies, whatever. And he'll like have to kiss a girl, but I'm not also kissing a boy. Like I'm not
Right.
also
Yeah.
acting doing that same
Right.
thing. So like, it's only really like addressed for you, but with both of you doing it, how is that dynamic? Is it just like normal for you guys? And you guys
That's
don't even
also
bat an
part
eye?
of
Or?
the growth that we had to do for
Yeah.
sure. I
Yeah.
never had to be confronted with that until this relationship.
Yeah.
Well, I think too. So we've both been dancing with an opposite sex since we were
Yeah.
very young.
Yeah.
It's
Which
just
is
normal.
odd in general. You
Yeah.
know, like at 12 years old, I was like body rolling on
Right.
a boy. And that was
It's-
just normal. That was what I did.
Odd, but awesome.
But awesome, yeah.
Well, as she says, odd in the same breath, I think it's one of the things I'm most proud of as a competitive ballroom dancer. I was lucky to share the stage with a female partner.
Yeah.
We built camaraderie with a female partner.
Well, it's
and-
really the
and
only sport where you do have a teammate that is.
that's a girl.
Yeah,
and I think
boy.
that was really important for my relationship with women and how I approach them and the respect that I have and
Yeah.
the quality in which I view them, if not even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because they have to dance in higher heels backwards, like they say.
Yeah. And so I think watching him dance with another girl, I'll say this, like as an artist, never affected me. But I think when we were dating and weren't as secure in our relationship,
Yeah.
and obviously with our show, we have
They
amazing
lean
fans.
in, they
but
lean
they
into
lean into like the shipping and, because there is this magic that's happening during the season
Yeah.
that nobody else gets to feel, And so it was hard just because of those added elements. Like if it was just on a artistry level, like I was so proud and
Yeah.
to cheer him on with another girl,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's when the
There's
other
all the
nonsense
other
gets
noise.
gets
I mean-
involved, and that's when you're like OMG, like wait, what?
Yeah.
Are
So-
you actually attracted? Like the thing is, it's I look at it as a tool as well. Like this is part of my craft. Is I do it with a partner,
Yeah.
and part of that process, I also have to convey a really strong sense of chemistry and
Yeah.
Emotion.
and emotion. And I mean, that's, you got to infuse the work with that, and that's the kind of the kind of the double-edged sword. Is like, the better I am at that,
Yep.
Yeah.
the more impactful that might be on our relationship. But again, it's really all the other noise that
Yeah.
Yeah.
adds, I guess, you know, it just pours like that toxic energy on
Yeah.
it. Otherwise, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to see us at our best.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, and I think for a while too on the show, I didn't have a partner yet. I was on what they call a troupe. And so I didn't have a celebrity partner for a few seasons while he did.
Okay.
And so it wasn't like I was experiencing what he was kind of like what
Yeah.
you were saying, you know? And then I started to get partners and I understood the time commitment. Like he said, the more chemistry you have with your partner, the better your season is going to be. It just is, even for the two of you to get along better, but for the audience to want to vote for you, you know? So
Yeah.
I started to get more of an understanding for what that commitment was.
But really, it's like what you said, it's the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm also obsessed with what I do.
Yeah.
Now, as I get older, my responsibilities outside of my work change. I'm trying to find a better balance, and I am.
Yeah.
But ultimately, you know, I have undivided commitment and energy towards my work.
Yeah.
My work revolves around one other person. That other person is of the opposite sex,
Mhm.
and
Well,
I
I did dance with a girl one time.
You did, yes, which was amazing. But again, the jealousy, or I threw that word out.
Yeah.
That feeling that you might feel.
Yeah.
I know where you're going. Yes, say this.
Is more focused around the time spent with this other human,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
joy shared with this other human.
Yeah.
You know, and as somebody watching someone that I love, it's tough to be like, man, she looks so happy spending all her time
Yeah.
Yeah.
with this other
somebody else,
person,
yeah.
Yeah.
creating these beautiful things that are then broadcasted to the world, and the world is responding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and they respond, and actually, and then we talked about the toxicity in that response,
Yeah.
amongst all other beautiful responses, you know, some of that, and those voices are the loudest, and now I'm exposed to those voices too, and it's like, it takes a lot of discipline and a
Yeah.
lot of trust to be okay with all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
really have to have a firm foundation.
Yeah.
And tools.
Yeah.
Tools.
Yeah,
this-
communication.
yeah.
Okay. For anyone listening right now that is trying to elevate their health and wellness, you're going to want to keep listening to this. We've talked about them before,
Yes, we have.
and we will keep talking about them because
Yes,
we
we
love
will.
them. Symbiotica is an amazing health supplement company that has just insane formulas. The grade of their products and their formulas is so high, highest quality, bioavailable ingredients, and the most advanced delivery system. I just found this out that they have an online quiz you can take to figure out what supplements are best for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Why the heck haven't we done that?
I know. Well, we've already been taking stuff. We take.
Well, yeah, but we could dial in more exactly what, you know, is
Yeah.
more important
Yeah.
for us to be taking.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we
Well,
very much should do it.
That's so cool.
They have so many things you can choose from, and their liposomal packs taste very good.
Yes.
We always say how good they taste, which I don't like liquid vitamins. They kind of scare me because of the taste of them. But theirs are so good, and they help keep you on track with them.
Yeah, Symbiotica's changing the game.
Yeah, they really are in so many ways. So visit symbiotica.com and use code The Squeeze for 15% off site wide. Go on there, take that quiz. We're going to take it as well. And you can
Yeah.
use that code The Squeeze for 15% off.
Nice.
Have fun. I do just want to ask, what was it like dancing with JoJo, and how was, because I'm sure like choreographing it, like, did you have to change how you
Yeah.
did it? Because normally it's like the male dances like a male and a female dances like a female. But when there's two females, how did you what was that process like?
It was so scary going into it.
Yeah.
Because like you said, I knew what all of my male celebrities, like I knew what would make them look good.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was me dancing around them, dipping on them, flipping on them or something.
What
you know?
else?
Stop! I didn't say grinding on them. No, but then when I was approached with now a girl and I was like, oh man, I have no expectations of what I'm stepping into or how to choreograph or how to begin a dance like this.
Yeah.
But it was such a great challenge because especially in that time of my life, I was just not in a good place. I was like super depressed. I was going through it personally. And I had done the show so much, it became a little bit monotonous to me where I was kind of just going by my routine and not really enjoying every second of it or challenging myself. And so this was the perfect little experiment, I think, for just myself as an artist. I like really every week had to think through, how are you going to approach this week and this dance, and also play with, sometimes I did the boy choreography, which I would never do.
Yeah.
And it ended up being one of my favorite seasons creatively. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was
cool.
so much fun.
Yeah.
Well, because you're also reimagining a genre of dance that has a long-standing tradition of how it should look.
Right.
And it was cool to see that it can still, respect the genre without and still reimagine it at the same time. So it was cool.
Like looking at it with like a fresh set of eyes almost, because it was like, you've done this for so long, but you've never done that.
Yeah, for sure. And it was the scariest thing. And before it started, I was like, why did I say yes to this one? I'm going to fail. But also I think it had to do with the responsibility of this was such a big moment for the show of like having the first same-sex pairing. And I just didn't want to let anybody down or let this moment down, let JoJo down, let the show down. Yeah. But it was the best. It was exactly what I needed at that moment in time for sure.
That's cool.
And again, it's so, so much conversation about sexuality got connected to it. Same way when there's a guy and a girl dancing, and my thing is like, yes, that is an element that sure, we don't have to just completely negate, but that is such a small part of what makes this thing so special, what makes dance so awesome. And the fact that is always kind of like the go-to that overshadows all the hard work, all the creativity, all the,
Totally.
So for me, that was what was cool is to kind of, because I love dance, I love ballroom dance, and I really love to see it in a different way, performed in a different way.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah, you did it.
Thanks, babe.
Okay, I'm done with all of my questions now. None of those questions were even on here. I was just wanting. I wanted. Okay. I wanted all the answers.
Well, you have to come to the show this season.
Great.
It's the best.
I'll come.
Okay, great.
I'll come all the time.
You can.
I'm available.
It's every Monday, so great.
She'll be there.
Yeah, literally. It's just you like walk in and I'm just like sitting there, the first person in there. I'm like, hey,
you want a signed seat every week.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I want to say congrats on the new baby.
Thanks.
Oh my gosh. What has parenthood been like?
I'll let her take the lead because she does, she does most of the work.
Like?
No, I want to hear also your thoughts though too. I mean, I'll start. Okay, fine. It is the absolute best thing ever. It is so exhausting.
Yeah.
And we were even talking about this morning. He was like, man, I'm just so tired. And somehow you wake up and you just have so much energy to do it.
Yeah.
Because there's this little light beam staring at you and just looking into your soul like, I'm all he ever needs.
Yeah.
And it just gives you the energy that you need. And it's the best. It's
great. It's
It's
great.
wild.
It's great. It's probably different for everybody.
Yeah.
We're very fortunate to have, some means to have some help along the way where it's not, like the first thing we thought about were how single moms do this with multiple kids. It's like,
it's wild.
While having a job, it's unbelievable. I
much
literally
respect.
cannot believe it.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Yeah.
I took him with me to buy, to run some errands today.
This morning
Uh,
by himself.
by myself, like for the first time. I had to take like a 20-minute meditation just to kind of like get myself ready, so to think what they go through. So yeah, no, it's a lot. It's a lot on the woman for sure, especially on Jen. But it's also, the most rewarding thing. And most difficult things are the most rewarding things. And this one is definitely up there in both.
We'll have to show you this video. We did a little family shoot yesterday, and Val one day came home and he had this mini baby Yankees hat. Val wears a Yankees hat like almost every day. He has them like in every color. He's very proud.
Love it.
Very proud.
It's not about the Yankees, it's about the New York.
The New York, yes. Anyway, so there's this little picture of the two of them in Yankees hat, and I died. Well, first of all, our baby Rome is the chunkiest baby you've ever seen.
He is so cute.
Wait, how old is he?
He's only 4 months, but he like eats 1-year-olds, like beyond.
He's so chunky.
So
It's
his
so
cheeks are like this big with a little hat on, and it's the best.
It's been super fun. And it's fun to kind of reimagine parenthood as well, because, we have examples of our parents, and they're incredible examples. We're very fortunate with awesome parents. But they did it at a different time, on different circumstances, and with different means, and like I said, with different society norms as well. So it's awesome to see Jen back at it, doing podcasts, working, like looking incredible and feeling mentally strong and ready to pursue her life.
Yeah.
Where it's, I think our parents, struggled with that. It was a different time
for sure.
So for us, no, we want to kind of create both, like take care of our responsibilities as parents, but also make sure there's enough time left for her to take care of her own self, and me to take care of her. But it's been super. It's been really fun. For me, it's also been incredible for our relationship, and there's a toxic way of having a child in order to bring a relationship together. I don't think that's productive necessarily. We were in a beautiful place when we had our child. But the love elevates to like a different level.
It's crazy.
My love for her just quadrupled, in all aspects.
And it's wild because you don't have any time for each other. Like, I'm thinking back to all of our years that it was just the two of us, and I'm like, wow, we had so much amazing time together, and we did everything. And then you barely have time to see each other, have
maybe
like a thoughtful conversation.
The love elevates.
Probably.
There's less time spent together.
But it's the love, like,
it's been great. Knock on
doubles.
wood.
It's awesome.
Our
wonderful
friends
time.
have said that same thing.
Yeah. I think also seeing your partner as a father or as a mother, I think is also just a little dream come true. Seeing that responsibility take on, and
Wait, so I'm trying to do the math. What was his birthday? Because I feel like he's close to 9. I don't know.
January.
January
Okay,
10th.
a little before me. Okay. January 10th. That's my mom's birthday.
No way.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Capricorn. They're scary.
Okay.
He's already so stubborn. I'm like, OMG.
Okay. Well, that makes sense, Mom.
Yeah.
She's literally
lovely, but very
she
stubborn.
actually is the loveliest human actually to ever walk this earth.
Actually a saint. Yeah, I'm February.
Got it. Okay.
Close.
Yeah.
But I do want to touch on, and obviously answer this how you want, or we can take it out. But a lot of our friends have struggled with infertility, miscarriage, and I know that those were a part of your journey. Before. What was that like? Because I know that I think I've read that you even like just kind of stopped trying to get pregnant before you ended up getting pregnant this time.
Yeah, it was. And it sucks because I think once you have your mindset on, we decided like, oh, we're ready to start having a child. I think we thought, oh, we're just going to get pregnant. And then that's that.
Well, because in high school, they told me if I look at somebody without,
she's getting pregnant.
Protection.
Right.
Yeah. It's little did I know.
So I think we got very, very excited, and like our hopes were so, so high. And so we started trying, And much to our surprise, it just wasn't really happening. And then you start to like question yourself. You start to question each other. Like, are we doing this right?
Yeah.
And then our friends started getting pregnant right, left, and center. And then it just adds a level of pressure and stress and sadness. And
then again, the conversation. So when are you guys going to have a child? All these questions.
Answering that.
And you're just like, oh my gosh, we're trying, but you don't want to say that. Anyway, so it took us about a year and we finally ended up getting pregnant. It also kind of just like ruins sex for you, and not ruins it, but I feel like we've always loved our sex life, and it's been such a sacred thing for us.
Right.
And then it just became like scheduled and a job, you know, and I didn't feel as connected to each other. Anyway.
We'll talk about AI taking over your life. Like there was an app that was telling me when we needed to do this.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. It's on a schedule. It was just a lot. It was the worst. So, but I ended up getting pregnant and it was so exciting. The best feeling, sensation in the world. And then being able to tell him. And then I ended up miscarrying, and I had never really heard that word. Like it's such a taboo, like scary word that I never just heard thrown out casually. And so then coming to terms with, oh, I just experienced a miscarriage. There's something definitely wrong with me, but no one could find answers to why or what had happened.
Yeah.
But also that high to low emotional roller coaster.
I can
when
only
you find
imagine.
out.
Yeah.
It was just, and she's glowing and like, I mean, it's crazy. Her whole aura started to change
like overnight.
Immediately.
Yeah.
And then the lowest. So the low.
Yeah. And you just feel so helpless in that moment.
Yeah.
And, anyway, so I experienced a miscarriage. And for me, I was like, you know what? In order to feel good again, I want to get pregnant right away. Like we got to keep trying. We got to keep trying. So I put this pressure on us to like keep trying. And I don't think I fully accepted what had happened or like grieved through it properly. So it honestly made me spiral, and I was just like spiraling. I got super, super depressed. I was just not myself. I was like a shell of a human being. And it was actually Val that was like, you know, I think we should kind of take a break.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time I was really upset at him and like really emotional. Not upset, but I was just like, you don't want this. Like this has been our dream. We almost had it, blah, blah, blah. But I think he knew that like I was not in a good place. I just wasn't. And we ended up deciding to take like 6 months off. We didn't put a number on it. We were just like, let's take a break.
Right.
So we didn't even talk about it. We didn't think about it. Obviously I did, but you know, we just wanted to enjoy each other and like reconnect as friends, as lovers, like partners, each other was just our priority. And then about 6 months later, we went to this trip in Cabo. Just so carefree.
I mean, now I know why the whales go down there.
Oh my gosh.
Don't they go for mating down there?
OMG. Is that why we went? No, it's for my birthday. But seriously, and they always say it like when you're least expecting it and when you're not thinking about it, it just happens.
Yeah.
And I got pregnant on my birthday, and it was great. But the struggle to get there was exhausting. It was just, it was rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, what helped was just hanging out with friends and starting the conversation. Again, this wasn't my conversation to have. So, you know, obviously I was letting her lead the way on when she was ready to talk about it. But once she was ready, you know, I'm very emotionally available to my friends. So I was like, you know, this happened. It's been taking a toll, you know, and they were like, one of my friends was like, dude, me and my wife tried for 5 years before we had our twins. And then we started, you know, we had to do the IVF thing. I was like, really? He was like, yeah. My other homie was like, yeah, we had 2 miscarriages. We tried for over 2 years. I'm
That
like,
was-
what?
that was
why
like-
doesn't anybody telling me these
Right.
things?
Yeah.
Exactly. And that
Right.
was the saddest but most
And
beautiful
they
part.
have kids now. They've had kids for some time, but
Yeah.
I never knew how they got to that
What
place.
that journey was.
Yeah.
Well, that was the wild part is you just learned that it's such a common thing
Yeah.
and no one really talks about it. And it's
Yeah.
happening all the time. It's 1 in every 4 women will experience a miscarriage.
I was
Yeah.
going to bring that up.
Yes. And
It's
so
crazy.
that also made me feel way more seen and
Yeah.
understood. And then there's a massive community that I didn't know about on YouTube, on social media. And a lot of people are super vulnerable and open to sharing their experiences.
Yeah.
And that helped me heal a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that's why I wanted to wait until we had our baby because Europeans in general are very superstitious, like OMG, so superstitious. And so I wanted to wait until he was actually here before I opened up about it. But I knew that I wanted to share our story because I think it is super important for people to know that you are never alone in this.
Yeah.
And it is so common and it gets better
Yeah.
because eventually it does. And it's going to suck in the process. But once you have your little baby, that journey is so worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's something that obviously our friends now are starting. We either have friends that are just starting to have kids or like older and have kids.
Have kids, yeah.
So like we didn't really like know much like about just like pregnancy journey, but our best friends like struggled with infertility for a really long time.
Like years. Like they tried for years and they've been very, they've talked about this publicly, but they did like several rounds of IVF. Years of trying and just was like, it was horrible. But then they finally got pregnant. They had their son last year and
they were told they were never going to naturally be able to have children.
Stop.
Fast forward, they have their son. He's
just over a year.
a little over a year
And we get a phone call, a
Stop it.
FaceTime. And
from them at the beginning of this year.
weren't even trying. And it just happened. And now they have another little one.
When
on
they
the way.
Triplets.
when they were told they never
Right.
when they were told they'd never be able to get pregnant.
Yeah.
And they
it's-
naturally
and
got
it's
pregnant.
Spent 3-4 years trying to get the first.
It's
Yeah.
that
Now they're
I've
having
heard
their second.
so many stories like that. Even
Yeah.
our sister-in-law, she had 3 miscarriages. She has a son that they got pregnant their first time.
Yeah.
He's 6 now. They tried for years. She had 3 miscarriages and a round of IVF didn't take.
Wow.
Naturally got pregnant
Yeah.
Yeah.
randomly. Just
So
Yeah.
crazy.
It's
Yeah.
something that's just like it was so random. 2 couples that were at our wedding, both were pregnant at our wedding, but then ended up miscarrying right after at the same time. And we both found, I just got chills thinking about that again. We both found that out separately and we were like, is it that like common? And then
Yes, it
we
is.
started
Yeah.
really learning. It's so common, but
so common.
there's still so much stigma around like as women, like losing this thing, like you're growing inside of you. Like, am I not adequate enough?
Yeah.
But in reality, it's so normal.
yeah.
Like it's nothing that you can do sometimes. It's just
No.
the science of how things are working in there.
the whole pregnancy thing in general, you don't know how your body's going to react until you start trying
Yeah.
and until you're actually pregnant.
Yeah.
And that's the sad thing. Not sad, but we were just like, oh, why did we wait so long?
Right.
Because it ended up taking us a little bit longer, but it all worked out how it was meant to. So
Yeah. No regrets.
no
Yeah.
regrets.
Maybe
love
you
that.
guys already answered this, but what would you say is the biggest thing you learned about yourselves as individuals and as a couple through that journey?
Mm.
Yeah.
During that journey actually was the first time that I did therapy.
Okay.
And that I actually started therapy. And I think we've definitely come a long way with the stigma towards therapy and mental health in general. But I think that it was a big reminder that I need to check in with myself and I need to take care of myself. Even in those moments that I'm super high,
Yeah.
because I am going to have those really low moments and I don't want to be all the way rock bottom once they hit
Yeah.
and not have the tools to be able to navigate that. So I think that was a really big eye opener for me is how important therapy is and what a blessing it was for me at the time. And I think it really helped transition my mindset that got me into an okay space to then let my body relax and get pregnant, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, just what an incredible husband I am.
You do have to rely on each other a lot. And he was there for me for a lot of dark days and times. And I mean, I learned a lot. I don't know what to pinpoint to, but you know, at the end of the day, we're kind of useless in the process, you know? Men, you mean?
Yeah. So I didn't feel like I was taking on the kind of the bulk of the tragedy, right? I mean, it really was around her, you know, for her to handle, and I was just trying to be supportive. But like I said, the hardest thing about the miscarriage moment is the helplessness, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, I guess the one thing I learned about us is that, and I don't know if it applies, you know, medically, if it checks out or applies to others, but like when we love each other and when we're happy and when we're in a good space, you know, we got pregnant, we can accomplish anything.
Right.
And so I think checking in with ourselves and then with ourselves, I think is really important.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone that is maybe like in the thick of it right now, similar to what you guys went through?
I would say to open up and reach out to people, because the more that you talk about it and find others that are going through your same experience, you're going to feel a lot lighter. And even just venting helps a lot. And, you know, I think finding those people with shared experiences also just gives you an example to look to and be like, okay, you know, they're coping this way. Maybe I can also try that. I don't know.
So not put so much pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm sure time is of the essence, but
also don't
take your time.
And if you're not ready to share, that's totally fine. But I do think it really does help, and find a community that will help you. Even if it's you silently looking up YouTube videos at night and watching people talk about it, that also helps me. You know, I would sit there and just like watch these videos, and they didn't know I was watching it, but these anonymous people helped me a ton at that time. So yeah, I just reach out if you're comfortable and open up. It really does help.
And just keep on
having some sex.
Heading to Cabo.
Head to Cabo.
To where the whales are.
follow the whales.
Book a
Follow the whales.
non-return to Cabo.
A one-way ticket to Cabo.
Too much.
Okay, transitioning off of that, I wanted to ask both of you, but Jenna, you specifically, because you've opened up and talked about struggling mentally, and specifically when it comes to comparison. And this is something that a lot of people, I feel like, in our generation deal with today. I myself deal with and struggle with. I just, you know, think with social media and you comparing your life to somebody else's highlight reel. It's just, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Could you share a little bit more about your journey with comparison and what helped you throughout that?
I think I'm still on that journey, to be fair.
Same.
But as a girl and being a dancer, I mean, you know, Tay, we spend all day staring at ourselves in a mirror.
Yeah.
You know, and you're just like picking apart your body.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of my comparison had to do with body image things. And I never experienced this sort of insecurity towards my body until I started Dancing with the Stars, honestly, which is kind of terrible. But I think on the show, you know, we are half naked dancing around. And that's also when the height of social media started to happen. It's also when we started finagling, if you will. And a lot of his fans weren't so happy about it because they wanted him with anybody else but me. And so I would just get annihilated. And at the time, I also was going through some like hormonal imbalances that made my body really fluctuate with weight. And it just took a toll on me. And it was the first time that I ever was like, wait, is there something wrong with my body?
Yeah.
Cut to, I learned a lot during that time and found a healthy relationship with food and exercising. It's when I started to get into exercising. Then it became a little bit of an obsession to a fault because I think I was always trying to reach this perfection of what I thought that was in my head.
Yeah.
And trying to appeal to others. Like you said, there's highlight reels every day of people's feeds. And how do you keep up with that?
Yeah.
And it's not realistic.
No,
That's the thing. It's not. But again, it's a journey. You have to learn. And you know what's so funny? I was just thinking, we were kind of actually talking about this
I just follow
today.
people uglier than me. You know what I mean?
And that's how you deal with
This is
it.
how I deal with it.
Very
I just
smart.
Don't follow anybody that's handsome or successful.
I do think being pregnant and postpartum has made me more confident than ever,
I love that.
which is weird because I was the biggest I'd ever been.
Right.
You're in a foreign body.
Yeah.
It's huge, but it's so beautiful. It's carrying a freaking child in there
Yeah.
and everything expands, but you're just like, feel like you're superwoman. And then even giving birth, postpartum is a trip because you still don't feel like you're in your own body,
Yeah.
but now the human is outside and you're like, oh, wait, this is now my new body.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit jigglier and rollier. And I've truly never felt so confident in myself.
That's
and I have
awesome.
like
Wow.
less time. You know what it is? I have less time to obsess over myself or to like tear myself down.
Right.
And the less time I think you obsess over that or pick it apart, you're just happier.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like I haven't been to the gym in this whole week. And in my past life, before children, I would be devastated. And I'd be like, I can't even go through the day. Like I would just be anxious and uptight. And now I'm just like, oh, it's great. I ate today. I cleaned my room and I have the cutest little human throwing up all over me. And I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I think there's a big deal of gratitude in our life that's helping us cope with a lot of insecurity.
Definitely.
And, you know, when you commit yourself to being of service to someone else, I think that also alleviates a little bit of that anxiety.
Sure.
Right now, obviously, we're of service to this young life. I think it's preoccupying us.
Yeah.
And just in general. So that's always been my vehicle. Definitely. I definitely also, I mean, I wouldn't say I struggle with that, but I think we all struggle with it to some degree.
Yeah.
You know, my arrogance and self-esteem definitely hold me up there.
Yeah.
But no, the truth is, every time I feel that way, I just, instead of thinking of all the things that I don't have, I try to focus on all the things that I can share and take the opportunity to share them, you know, and help somebody.
I think last little thing too, to also help I feel like I've learned to not care as much about what people think. And
But how?
I know it's
We're
hard.
literally on a show where we're campaigning.
Yeah.
You know,
And we literally get
3 months.
judged. Like our craft gets
That's
judged.
what I was telling Taylor is like, my joke is like, during nursing school, like people would like get offended if their teachers would say something. And I'm like, I take criticism so well because I literally would get yelled, chairs thrown at me, like spit at, like in dance, because that's just the nature of it.
Right.
That's how
But,
you
like,
get better.
Yes, that's truly is how. But like, it's so true that you're judged your entire life. You're constantly being like, oh, your body needs to look like this more, or you need to do this better.
Yeah.
Like it's constantly like that. And you're constantly comparing to, oh, this person has a better turnout, or their leg gets an entire than mine, or whatever it may be, you know?
I think
It's
it's
such a thing.
really just coming to terms with caring less about what people have to say and having more confidence in
It's
myself
tough. That's tough.
overall, which is really, really tough because it still affects me, but I don't think it affects me as much as it did
I'm
when I was
saying
first
it's
starting
tough.
out.
It's tough to not care what people say.
Yeah.
You know, I just think it's just caring about the right people
Yeah.
and what they say, not caring about everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if you have a huge following, like that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think we've evolved as humans because we need validation. We need approval from our community. That's what makes us human is
Yeah.
we want to congregate. We want acceptance and we want to feel like we're part of something.
Yeah.
I think social media has exponentially expanded that to a degree where I don't think is healthy and
For
our
sure.
minds can process correctly.
Yeah.
Because before all of this, I mean, your community was like 100 people tops,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And throughout the day, you interacted with maybe 30 people tops. You
Yeah.
know, even
Yeah.
if you lived in the city, like how many people are you actually interacting with throughout your day?
Every single day.
You know, so
Yeah.
this is a very new phenomenon. And if this generation is struggling with mental health, it's not because there's anything wrong with this generation. It's because we're given completely different parameters to live in.
Yeah.
And this is all part of that. We're all figuring this out.
Yeah.
You know, this is like when they used to prescribe smoking in the 30s, you know,
Yeah.
for whatever.
Yeah.
It took some time to realize that wasn't good for us. I think, you know, I don't want to use the regulation word, but some sort of moderation to social media access,
Right.
I think is in the near future, hopefully.
Right.
I hope so.
Yeah.
At least the amount of time we were exposed to that. I'm
Yeah.
not saying cancel it, but like give us a weekend off. You know,
Yeah.
like we're just shut down. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not open.
Yeah.
You know, we're okay with
We're
things
closed.
being
Instagram's
closed.
closed. today.
Instagram's closed for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so true though. Like said, we talk about it a lot in our personal life on the show, just like the effects that social media has. And even just like your phone, like getting work emails at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., and then like responding to it. Like you shouldn't be doing that at that
No.
time. But it's so normal for us because everything is in the palm of our hand.
Yeah. And, when
And,
you
like-
see it, it's like so hard to like ignore it.
Yeah. And I thought I was being good with like setting boundaries of like, okay, like only going on Instagram or TikTok for this amount of time, whatever. But I didn't realize that like my phone is like texting is like obviously like my main thing for work. So I have like management, my production team, everyone's texting at once. And like I've been having to, as much as I love that they're always working because I am always working in my head, but just having like I need to put my phone on do not disturb at
Right.
like 8:39.
Yeah.
Like I need to
That
remove myself from
that
that.
deserves a prize. You know how they give like Pulitzer Prize for whoever invented
Do not disturb.
like the,
Yeah.
do not this
You won.
the guy that said keep watching 5-second countdown on Netflix. You know, he
He
killed
did
it,
himself.
and now this guy who created the do not disturb thing because
Poor woman.
or woman because
Probably a woman, honestly.
because there is that guilt of like not responding, right? So
Yeah.
somebody, your colleague, texts you something important, whether you need to address it right now or not is irrelevant. You want to give them some sort of response, and,
Yeah.
and this option is like perfect. You're
Yeah.
like, sorry, I am
Didn't see
sleeping.
it.
You know, yeah.
Actually
Yeah.
sleeping today.
Um,
Yeah.
I
Very
love that.
true. All very.
But yeah, and back to the generation thing, you know, it's like, I mean, I have my things with this generation, but it's not a generation thing. It's like I see it with my parents.
Yeah.
For the longest time, they were very distant from social media and
Yeah.
technology like that in
Now they've
general.
got Facebook.
Now they got,
and
you know, again,
Instagram.
because I got them like their own thing because so that they could follow our life,
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and they're like it's not good for them. I see the
Hooked.
change in my mom.
Yep.
You know, my mom used to read a lot more. Like that
Mhm.
was her thing. If she's just sitting around, she'd read a book. Now she's
Yeah.
you know doing that same thing.
So
Yeah.
interesting.
It is true. That is very true. Right?
Yeah.
We know that.
Yeah. We get a lot of videos from our parents.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
We
they,
get a lot
they
of
tag
Instagram
you like
links.
they send you these like
Yeah.
videos
Yes.
and memes.
I think they also just spend a lot of time on it and
Yeah.
very much like keeping up with us and
Oh,
Yeah, that is the thing. Like keeping up with. I mean, even though we talk to them all the time, but
but
Yeah.
that algorithm will get them.
that algorithm, man, they'll get you. Okay, so we have like 3 questions that we ask. We try to ask couples every time they come on, but I have a 4th one that I'm adding in. I want to know how the adjustment has been. You guys kind of talked about it, just like not having time like for the 2 of you with the baby now, because that's
Mhm.
like that's something that I like. We're not ready to have kids yet, but that's something I think about. Like I really want to nail down our like time, and then I
Yeah.
know when I have a kid, everything that we have nailed down is gonna
fly out the window. But how have you like had time, or how have you been working towards, or what tips, or how have you been able to prioritize like the two of you or alone time?
I think exactly what you said. You do have to prioritize it and make time for each other, or write out a schedule of like, we're going to do a date night on this day. I think a beauty of working together is now I think we appreciate that a little bit more and take advantage of spending that time together. But it's hard. And when I was pregnant towards the end, I started, and I said it to you a few times, I started getting like a little anxious about grieving our life together.
Yeah.
Because we had done so much and traveled together, and I loved our alone time together. Like it was so special
a lot of
to
fun.
me. He is a lot of fun.
You seem like it.
But I was like, and I felt a little bit guilty. Like, am I going to be okay not just having the two of us forever?
Yeah.
And I think you're way more present when you have those moments together and you take advantage of it. So I think just prioritizing it and making it a point to just have one-on-one time. Yeah.
And getting past the stigma of prioritizing yourself. I mean, I think there's stigma in that. Yeah. Again, if you grew up in a healthy environment, there's a good dose of that unhealthy stigma because our parents sacrificed everything for us. They never made time for themselves, you know? And so for us, that's the example, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the right example to set, because I think down the line, down the road, your marriage will suffer if you don't prioritize it.
For sure.
And so, you know, and from there, everything else will collapse as well. So I think it's really important that we prioritize time together and continue to, you know, fall in love together.
Yeah. Well, that's a perfect segue to the second question here. How has your individual struggles impacted your relationship?
For better or worse.
Yeah, right.
Well, no, a lot of like personal stress that I bring home has I know for sure has impacted our relationship and her view on things. You know, we come from very different backgrounds. So, you know, just learning to, again, for her to learn to cope with with the challenges that I have in my life that she necessarily didn't have to face, and vice versa. You know, the things that she goes through, I have now taken ownership of to some degree as well, and we kind of help each other in that way.
I think also when we're not taking care of ourselves mentally, emotionally, that's when we find our more conflicting times. When I am constantly meditating, praying, doing self-care for myself and taking seconds for myself to like be okay, I am such a better wife, friend, daughter, mother. I just know that. And so I think always checking in with myself, I'm a better partner for him.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm answering your question, but
I liked it all.
Okay.
Whatever it was great.
It was the squeeze.
Where's
the juice?
It was juicy. Okay. Next I have, how do you support the other person when they're struggling?
It's kind of like read the room. I just know when he's not okay.
Yeah.
And even though he'll tell me, I'm fine. And he'll do it like a little passive aggressively. And I'm like, okay, he's not fine.
Right, clearly.
Backpedal. I try to give him space, I think also because I think he's not as comfortable in that moment when he's feeling a certain type of way, opening up. Like he needs a little bit to digest it himself and like internally battle himself for a couple hours. Yeah. And when he's ready, then he'll come tell me or open up. So I think just understanding that and not being like nagging on him, like, are you sure you're not mad at me? Are you sure you're okay? Are you sure you're not mad at me? I know helps him.
There's also things that I want to take care of myself.
Right. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Which for me, I would rather him share everything so I can help take on that load. Yeah. But that's just what makes us different in that way. So
it's different. It's probably things that I still need to improve on, be more vulnerable, be okay with being more vulnerable in certain things, be okay with like dropping the ball as a man in that department.
Yeah.
But still in my mind, there's certain things that I just want to take care of still.
Yeah. But I think in those moments too, I always try to make him laugh. Because I know if I like make him laugh in a certain way, we'll like get a giggle and we'll both feel better.
I feel like you guys have a lot of laughter in your relationship.
We do.
Yeah. Getting the sense. Okay, last question, and then we'll get you on your way. Is there any habit or routine you would encourage other couples to incorporate into their relationship?
This is good.
It's all different. I mean, for us, actually, it's so silly, but working out together really added value to our relationship because it's something that we both like to do.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think if you love to do it for yourself, by yourself,
right,
you could do that. But even when we go together, it's not like we're talking the entire time. You could still have your own space, but it's just been like helpful for us. Just another, like, I guess, ground that we share.
I agree with that. I love working out with you, and you know that I wish we did it a lot more often.
Okay, we will.
Okay.
Even I think just like making the trip over there, or showing up together and having like a shared purpose is fun. And we're also psychotically competitive, so it's like also fun to like be competitive. Something else that I feel like recently has become a habit is we kind of do a check-in at night where we'll go outside on our patio and turn on a fire and just talk.
Yeah.
And we'll try not to talk about work, but just have conversations.
Yeah.
And some of those moments are my favorite moments together. And we're super tired. And no matter how late it is, he loves sitting outside. And I think it's really good for us.
Yeah.
It's just like unwind together and just talk.
As life becomes more burdensome, or at least more responsibilities show up on your plate, I think it's just tapping into the dating version of you two. I think will always bring value into your relationship. Like you love each other and you have all these things that you've built together, but do you like each other? Do you like spending time together? Do you still make each other laugh, or whatever it is that you like about a person? I think making sure that you still like one another is important.
Yeah.
That was really good, guys.
Thanks.
Jeez.
I know. But the whole time they were saying that, I was like, we're going to sit outside together tonight.
Right?
Yeah.
I was jotting notes down in my brain.
Oh, yeah. Again, I have this problem with having the computer in front of me. I want to take notes half the time. Like when someone says something good, I always write it down.
Oh, that's
and I have to be like, put my hands in my armpits. So I'm not like taking notes.
We have it recorded.
You can watch it later.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, thank you for joining us, guys.
Thank
that was
you so
awesome.
much. Thanks for having
You
Thanks
made
for
our
having
jobs
us.
really easy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That was,
It's these things are challenging because I always have a tough time with placing myself in some sort of place of not authority but advice giving. Like what advice can I because everybody's journey is very unique to their own circumstance and their own timeline as well.
But I think it's fun to always meet other couples and get your feel for, I'm sure your working personal relationship is probably similar to ours and what we have to go through. And
there's definitely common thread. But again, if you don't have time to work out together, don't beat yourself up. That is a
it's
luxury.
over. It's over if you don't.
Work out.
Yeah. I'm you need to pull up Expedia or something. We need to book a trip to Cabo.
No, we're not booking any trips to Cabo.
Until you're ready.
We are not
Watch
going to
out.
Cabo. No Cabo in the near future.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for listening and watching this episode of The Squeeze. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. Leave us a little comment of how you liked the episode. As always, you can follow us at The Squeeze. You can follow us at Taylor Lautner. What else am I missing? Our email. Lautner.thesqueezepodcast@gmail.com. Go ahead and leave us emails there. You guys have been flooding that inbox. So thank you so much.
Great
for all
suggestions. Keep them coming.
Yeah.
Advice, what you're liking, what you're not liking, any thoughts you have.
Yeah.
We'll take it all.
Yeah. We will. And as you head into the rest of your lovely Wednesday or whatever day it is that you are listening to this, I want to challenge you to go tell one person that you love them.
I like it.
Yeah, I love you.
Remy, I love you.
I knew he was going to do that. We'll see you guys next week.
I love you too.
Oh.
Bye, guys.
This podcast has been brought to you by Podcast Nation.